Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMEV Reviews, and today I am finally back. I apologize for the break. I was kind of just getting ready for a move I was doing, if you can't tell. I definitely don't have the best location, and I probably will work on that, and there's probably a lot of echo, and I apologize for that. But hopefully it's at least bright enough, um, and you bear with me. Yes, we are going to have to stick with vlog-style videos. The camera I was using, I cannot use. So we are having to stick with this, but enough of that. Today, we are going to review the new project from Red Hearse, well, self-titled Red Hearse. Let's get to it. So Red Hearse is kind of like a supergroup. It's not the traditional like Traveling Wilburys kind of supergroup where it's just these big, huge celebrities. It's more like behind the scenes kind of celebrities. Jack Antonoff is definitely probably the more popular of them just because he has bands like Fun and Bleachers under his belt. But Sam Dew and Soundwave both also have got a ton of songwriting credits in tons of hits, and they all have done really successful stuff, and I really appreciate a lot of their work. Some of them more than others, not necessarily because I don't like one, but just because I haven't, dug into the specific stuff that they've worked on quite as much as obviously Jack Antonoff, an artist who I absolutely adore. So, what did we get with Red Hearse? So, I remember a little while back, Anthony Fantano actually tweeted out what makes a successful collaboration, what works when artists collaborates, and I think that it's whenever they can successfully blend their two sounds. And I don't mean like where on an album, let's say a Shawn Mendes album, if an artist was featured. That's not what I mean. I mean projects like Shaggy and Sting's collaboration, where it was a whole album based around them two. I feel like what makes an album like that work, or a collaboration like that work, is whenever they successfully blend both of their sounds. And honestly, they do that here. Now, yes, this is a standalone side project, so it's not fair to say that this is just a collaboration. This is a whole new band, a whole new group, and they should be judged for their own merits. But honestly, each of these members brings their own little piece to this music. Jack Antonoff being a little more on the rock, indie, alternative side. Then we get Soundwave, who's I mean, he's done a lot of hip hop production, a lot of rap production, and then Sam Dew, who's got a more R&B sound. And they successfully blend all of these things here. I honestly adore this album. I'm not gonna spoil it, or I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I really do like this album. It's really good. There's some tracks that don't quite work for me, and let's get into those. That would be Honey and Violence. I'm not a big fan of either of those songs. I was never a fan of Honey when it came out. I felt like it was just kind of boring. The lyrics were a little awkward. It just never really clicked with me. And then Violence it's just got a skittering trap beat percussion that just doesn't really add anything to the song. It's probably got the least melody to the whole album. It doesn't really have just a definable melody or hook to it, and it just doesn't really work for me. But then we get new songs on here that are absolutely amazing. I mean, I talked about Red Hearse, a song that I do enjoy, though it's definitely not high up on my ranking. Instead, taking Red Hearse's place would be songs like Half Love, an excellent song with some amazing harmonies by Sam Dew, who does all the vocals here. Minus just a tiny part where Jack does it in Red Hearse the song. Born to Bleed is another excellent song. I have been playing that more than most of this album. It's so catchy. I also absolutely love Everybody Wants You, another wonderful track. And all of these tracks are really excellent. I feel like sometimes where this band falters, though, is because some of these songs are just a little repetitive. They kind of just have a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus sort of structure, but typically a lot of those parts kind of sound a little similar, and it does get a little repetitive, I won't lie. I mean, there are times it does, but they usually make up for that with none of these tracks peaking over the 4 minute mark, and some of them not even peaking over the 3. I feel like that really balances it out. Though, as I say that, some of these tracks do wear on me a little quicker because they're just so incredibly repetitive. So let's talk a little bit more about this sound, because I think that that's what really makes this band stand out. The lyrics are fine and they work, but they're not like super reaching. I feel like Jack Antonoff probably didn't write a lot of the lyrics here, and I don't say that just as a huge Jack Antonoff fan, but his lyrics are usually really deep and at least really inward focused. And these tracks are, but as I said, the lyrics are just kind of repetitive, if anything. They're not bad, they're really not, but they just sometimes get a little repetitive. So, let's talk about the sound, because that's what makes them unique. Sam Dew has a great voice. He really knows how to use his falsetto excellently, and it doesn't really ever overstay its welcome. Songs like Half Love and Everybody Wants You, he actually does a really good job either fluctuating between the two or just purely belting it out. Half Love, he just belts it out almost the whole time, and whenever we get to that, it kind of functions as a bridge because it's a slowed down chorus. It works really well. And like I said, Everybody Wants You. He really just jumps between each his falsetto and his chest voice, and I really appreciate that. Couple that with some more hip hop style of percussion, and then Jack's synths, a lot of arping sounds, and you get a really interesting project here. I mean, regardless of whether this is necessarily your thing, you got to admit that this is something different, and you haven't heard a lot like it. It is definitely a little more R&B focused, I feel, but even then, we do get some interesting moments because despite me not liking violence, it's not really R&B at a lot of points. We got a lot of really a droning synth sound at times, and it's just an interesting project that I do enjoy. I really wish that I could give a new sort of description or like some more insight to this, but as I've been moving and working with stuff, I haven't been able to write out a full review. But of course I needed to review this because it's Red Hearse and I've been super looking forward to it. Unfortunately it is only 8 tracks, so it comes in a little short, but it's a short and sweet album that you can get through pretty easy, and it's really great. The only tracks I haven't talked about, since I've talked about all of them at this point, but 2 is Blessin' Me, which is another track that's just fine. It's not my favorite, though I know, like I have a friend who absolutely loves it. And then the last one is You Make It Easy, which is probably my second favorite of the 4 songs that were released non-singles. It's pretty good. I like it. I don't have much to say about it, but this whole release is pretty good, and I do like it a lot. It has a lot of things about it that are really interesting and unique, and I do enjoy it a ton. It's super catchy, and if anything, it's just a catchy, fun release. So for rating, I have a hard time because it's interesting, it's new, it's catchy, and you know you got to give credit to pop music, but I don't want to look at like someone that just loves Jack Antonoff and always falls at the feet of anything he does. That being said, it's still great. I still love it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me. What did you guys think of Red Hearse? I apologize for the video quality, the style, everything. Hopefully I can work out a better system, maybe even a better filming location instead of using my arms the whole time and as they give out and start shaking a lot. So I apologize, but thank you for bearing with me. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.